Brendan is the creator behind Brendan Explores, a YouTube channel all about life on the road. Most of his videos revolve around van upgrades, repairs, and solo adventures across the UK. He's the kind of guy who enjoys turning wrenches 1 minute and relaxing by a quiet lake the next. But this time, the peace didn't last.
Oh. Good morning, campers. It is the day before we embark on a 4-day trip in this van, which will be in this video. But we have some problems to address. Number one is this leaky sink. We cannot go on a trip for multiple days with gaffer tape wrapped around that U-bend. So we need to get in there and take a look at that. I've also brought some more accessories for this van, one of which being a brand new placemat to be able to go at the front once we've obviously cleaned that and given it a mop. Probably should have done that before I clicked record. Ah well. And I've already started getting some camp supplies together. Most importantly, 2 bowls of kimchi spicy noodles from Home Bargains. They are absolutely to die for. First things first, let's get this diesel heater on, get some heat running through this fan before my toes fall off. And let's see if we can get to work on this pipe. Let's see if we can get it fixed before our 4-day trip down south to Southend-on-Sea, no less, with my dad. But tonight, I'm going solo, heading towards the south. Don't know where we're going to park up yet. Haven't really looked at the map much. I just know I've got a destination where I need to go. I know where I'm meeting my dad tomorrow, and we need to find some kind of quiet park up tonight. We're just going to follow the road and see where the journey takes us. But we can't go anywhere until we get this fixed.
The day started off normal. Brendan was prepping his van for a 4-day road trip. First mission, fix a leaky sink. Nothing glamorous, just one of those things you don't want to fail when you're miles away from the nearest town. Once that was sorted, he threw in a few new accessories, cleaned up the interior, and set out. By the time evening rolled in, Brendan was on the hunt for a remote place to park for the night. He eventually found a lonely stretch near a reservoir, isolated, calm, and completely pitch black. The kind of place most campers dream about. He parked, leveled out the van with ramps, and settled in for the evening. He cooked up some burgers and kicked back, finally starting to relax after the day's drive.
Just had a look at park for night, and there's a nice little spot by a village called Atherstone. It's about 25 minutes away, and it's in a place, woodland in fact, called The Common, which looks quite picturesque. I'll put a couple of little bits about it up here on the left. Yeah, looks like a nice little spot. We're getting there quite early as well, about 5 o'clock, so just enough time to be able to cook our dinner, have a little scout out the local area, wait and see what's going on around us for a few minutes, and then set up camp for the night.
Your destination is on the left.
Is this it? Ooh, that must be the reservoir there on the left. Let's see if we can get somewhat fly. Horrible weather. Okay. Right. Okay. We're now level. We're home for the evening. Finally. What a job. What a job. That's where we are. Ibrook Corner. Oh, Oakham. We are right on the edge of this reservoir here, which as for tonight, we can't see at all because it's pitch black. But we got our home for the evening. And we're in. And we're in. Oh. That was a rough drive. Oh, I'm knackered now. After using the leveling blocks, we're still not 100% level. I mean, you can see putting that down there. We're not quite there, but it's good enough for tonight, and it means that at least with my head at that end of the bed, my head won't be swollen like a plum tomato when I wake up. So yeah, let's settle in for the evening. I have no idea what the area around us looks. All I saw was on the map we are right next to a reservoir, so I'm hoping for some good views in the morning. That'd be nice. Handbrakes on, van's in gear, chocks under the wheels. Let's get the diesel heater on, because it is fast approaching freezing outside, and start settling into home for the evening. But that was a rough one, that was a rough one. I think I got into a bit of a false sense of security with the first camp the other week, whereas this one's taught me some serious lessons about camping in a bigger vehicle. Pre-planning being one of them. It's all well and good looking on park for night, but I think having a look at Street View might be a good choice in the future, just to make sure for sure that the place that we're parking at is suitable.
But then something felt off. A pair of headlights pierced the darkness. A car had pulled in and stopped, just sitting there, engine running, pointed directly at the van. Brendan watched from inside, unsure of what was happening. Then another car arrived, and another. People began stepping out, flashlights flickering. One guy approached the back of the van. Brendan didn't recognize any of them, and this wasn't the kind of place you just happened to stumble into, especially not this late at night. There was no campground, no trailhead, no parking lot, just him, and now a growing number of strangers.
Just parked up looking at us, and somebody is coming towards the van with a head torch on. Someone's at the back of the van. What the hell is this person doing? Just sat there. The headlights shine at the van. There was absolutely no reason why anyone should be down this road at this time of night unless they're camping. That's a car, not a van. Another car just pulled up. A couple of blokes just stood around. What the hell are they doing? What was supposed to be a quiet spot is turning into the complete opposite. Someone else has bloody pulled in now. Why are they coming that close? This is weird. We got another one turning up. What the hell?
Brendan stayed quiet, heart pounding. The ramps under his wheels suddenly felt like a trap. He couldn't just drive off. To leave, he'd have to step outside in full view of whoever was lurking out there.
Way too many of them. Not enough of me. Oh. Look at them all, look. Look at them all. What's this here? This looks like what I saw on Park for Night.
Brendan was lucky that nothing happened, but the encounter served as a cold reminder. Even if the place looks peaceful, you never really know who might show up when the sun goes down. Always scout your exits, always trust your gut, and if you're stealth camping solo, maybe skip the leveling ramps next time. The team behind Adventure Outdoors is no stranger to wild, off-grid locations. They've camped just about everywhere, mountains, forests, remote islands. But on this particular trip, they weren't pitching a tent or parking a van. Instead, they were heading into the Scottish Highlands to spend the night in a building that's been standing since the 1850s, a place some say is haunted, White Legion Bothy.
So we're in the Bothy, there's nobody else here. I'll give you a quick tour. Got a little kitchen area here with great views over the hills. People have left bits and bobs, some soup noodles, some stock pots, rice, pasta. And then you've got a main room here. A couple of areas to sleep. Nice stove there. It's cracking, isn't it?
Oh, it's amazing.
And then through here,
A couple of candles on.
a couple of more beds there as well.
Yeah, I'd say it sleeps one. You could possibly get two on there, couldn't you?
Yeah, so you get a few in. I mean, there's space on the floor as well if you needed to sleep on the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I reckon I could comfortably sleep about 8.
As they arrived, the guys gave a quick tour: a rustic kitchen, scattered supplies left by past travelers, some bunks, and a fireplace. Nothing fancy, but something about the place felt strange. As darkness fell, the weather turned. A storm rolled in, heavy wind slamming against the stone walls, shaking windows, making the old structure groan. Inside, they cracked open some drinks, lit a few candles, and tried to settle in for the night. But it didn't stay peaceful for long.
So the wind's starting to pick up a little bit. You can really feel the gusts when you come up high. But we're just having a wander. The Bothy's down there, and then you've got this woodland area. So we've just had a mooch around, and we've got some water. Marty's got a fairly comprehensive water filtration system on the go. We just need to find somewhere to hang it up, but
It's called a water drop, but it works really well.
There's some hooks here, Martin, if you want to hang it up. Were you going to go out and cut some wood like with them saws?
Not now. I thought you were.
No, I didn't touch them. They were hanging up there. Oh, that's the first bit of spooky action for the night. No one's been in, but the wind is really blowing out there now. The storm's in full swing. But we're going to get our food on now, so get the stoves on and get cooking.
While flipping through the Bothy's guest log, a notebook full of messages from past visitors, they came across a fresh entry. Someone had stayed there the night before. Oddly, the place was spotless, like it had been cleaned out just for them. A little too perfect. Then the door shut, hard. There was no wind inside, no one near it. The reaction was instant. Everyone froze. It didn't feel like a draft. It felt deliberate.
Found the Bothy book. You put my glasses on now to find a bat. So this is popular, quite a popular Bothy by the looks of it. Someone actually stayed last night. It was nice and tidy when we came in. So plaudits to whoever stayed here last night. Well done. Absolutely spotless. Whoa. Hold on a minute. Whoa.
Oh.
I'm out. Whoa. I'm out of here.
No.
No.
Right, you can't see us here, but we just ran out of this room there. That was totally weird. The door just started to move on its own, and then it just pretty much slammed shut. I mean, Marty's out there.
I don't really want to come back in.
He's in bits. That was just the weirdest thing, wasn't it?
Trying to play it cool, they brushed it off, blaming the storm. But deep down, they knew something felt wrong. Then came the second moment, quiet but chilling. A chair, sitting untouched in the corner, slowly started to move. No explanation, no breeze, just the creak of old wood dragging against the stone floor. They stood there in silence, watching it shift, and in that moment, it didn't feel like they were alone anymore.
Well, folks, it's probably about 10 minutes after our ordeal with the spooky door closing over there, and we're trying to like rationalise it. I mean, I don't particularly believe in ghosts, and it does mine.
No. But
So we're kind of thinking that it might have been just like the backdraft of the wind. I mean, there's a storm going on outside, so
yeah, but I still don't believe it was the wind. But it's the only when the wind's blowing that strong outside, and there's no it's the only rational explanation, even though I'm not even looking at that. No, I'm not looking at it. It's moving, right? So, I'm honest, I don't know where to go. I don't know where to go.
this can't be right.
I don't.
I'm not.
It's black in here as well. I can't see a thing.
So there's a chair over there, and it just started to move, which is.
No way. I'm not even. No.
It's bonkers.
I'm not having any part of this.
That is moving.
Jesus Christ.
It is moving. That chair is moving.
Just leave it. Come out there.
Oh,
Come out
Christ.
there.
Just when things couldn't get weirder, the camera shut off completely, leaving a 10-minute blackout in the footage. When it powered back up, nothing seemed out of place, but the energy in the room had changed. The laughter was gone. No one was joking anymore. They made it through the night, but barely slept. The morning brought relief, but also questions. Was it just the storm playing tricks? Or was there really something in that bothy? Not every camping trip ends with ghost stories, but when you spend a night in a place with history, and maybe a few lingering spirits, you might not be as alone as you think. Brian and Emily had left behind their 9 to 5 lives to chase something freer. A life on the road in a van they built themselves. No office, no deadlines, just open skies, winding roads, and the kind of silence that makes you feel alive. They documented everything, each mountain pass, every campfire meal, and the quiet moments most people overlook. But on this trip, they decided to try something new. Instead of mapping out the journey themselves, they let ChatGPT plan their route through British Columbia. They wanted scenic views, dog-friendly hikes, some poutine along the way, and, of course, free camping. It sounded fun at first, different, a little quirky. What could possibly go wrong?
Hey everyone, we've been in Canada exploring beautiful British Columbia now for a couple of days on our way up to the Stewart-Cassiar Highway to start our journey up to Alaska. Between where we are right now and the start of the Cassiar, we have several hundred miles and we really don't know much about the area. It's so big and so vast and there's just a ton of different options. So we decided it might be fun to ask AI or ChatGPT where to go.
What could go wrong?
What could possibly go wrong? So we're going to give it a prompt and we're going to tell it that we've got, a couple of days and we want some free camping along the way. We want dog-friendly hikes and maybe also some poutine.
Yeah, maybe the best poutine in the area.
And let's see where it takes us.
We might not follow it to a T, but let's see what happens.
So first night, it's telling us to head to Beaurin Lake Provincial Park, which is about 2 hours from here. Looks like a pretty area. You want to check it out?
Let's do it.
All right, let's go.
Well, we just pulled into this campground, and all the sites say they're reserved, and there's no one appears to be working here. So we're thinking that this campground is still technically closed.
Well, there's just no one here at all.
Yeah, and it looks like they're doing like some road maintenance, and I think it's still just a sleepy little place that hasn't quite woken up yet from the winter. Beautiful, but this may be a first red check mark for AI. Wouldn't be free either, so that was the other thing, right?
Yeah.
All right, we got skunked on that site, but I think we got a pretty good lead on another, so let's go check it out.
Their first destination, a closed campground. No signage, no staff, just chained gates and empty silence. Not ideal, but no big deal. They found another spot nearby, parked the van, made a quick dinner, and tried to settle in. That night, the forest was calm. The stars were clear. The quiet was deep enough to feel ancient.
So it appears we have some busy critters that live here at camp. There are a few trees here that you can see that the beaver have been working on. In particular, that big tree over there has a lot of teeth marks in it. And if they were to work on that for, I don't know, another week, that tree could fall right on top of Gertie. But we're gonna put the trail cams out tonight and see if maybe we can get them in action.
Right, it is dinner time in the van, and I really wish that we would have gotten something to cook in the Dutch oven today.
That's okay.
We had some rotisserie chicken that we needed to eat up, and we weren't sure if we'd be able to cook outside or not because it's kind of been raining the past few days. I mean, ever since we got into Canada.
Pretty much.
It's been raining. So we've got some farro up here somewhere. That'll go with the chicken. If I can find it.
You need the step stool because you have little legs.
No, Brian. I found the farro. But thank you for offering.
You want to say cuss words.
Step stool. Because I have little legs. Done.
Thanks, babe.
Thanks.
It's so bright. I think we're about to call it a night. First, I'm gonna go put our trail cam up to see if we can catch those busy beavers chewing on these trees or any other critter that might walk through camp tonight, because we are kind of out there. Let's see what we find in the morning. It's really coming down, eh? All right, we'll see if we spot anything in the morning. See you guys then. Good night.
But early the next morning, just before dawn, something shattered that stillness. A knock, not a frantic bang, not a panicked hammering, just a single, deliberate knock, like someone testing the waters.
Got our first knock.
First knock.
5 o'clock. Why did he want?
You wanted to know what time it was?
Why?
Hey, I don't know if that's really what he wanted, but that's all he's gonna get.
What does he want? It's only 5:30 in the morning.
I don't think he really knows what's going on. Looks a little lost. There's a tent over here now that wasn't here when we went to bed. He just looks really confused. I think maybe he just had a really long night. First time he came by, he said he didn't have his phone. He asked what time it was. He's walking around looking for something. I think he's in this tent over here. He's just kind of moving stuff around, and I'm not that worried about it. Emily is, though.
It's just odd. He knocked on our door at 5 o'clock just to ask what time it was. That's strange.
Not saying he doesn't have other intentions, but watching him, he does look very lost and confused about what's going on, and maybe he really did lose his phone. We'll keep our distance. I'll keep my eye on him. Got a couple things outside. They're still there. That's good. One is a trail cam, so that might pull some interesting footage from that.
Brian got up, pulled back the curtain, and there he was, a man standing outside the van, barely illuminated by the faint morning light. He looked lost, or at least that's what he wanted them to think. When asked what he needed, all he said was, "What time is it?" Just that, then silence. Brian gave him the time, The man nodded and slowly wandered off toward a nearby tent that hadn't been there the night before. Emily was spooked. She didn't say much, but you could see it in her eyes. This wasn't right. The man didn't seem drunk, didn't seem injured, but something was off.
It didn't get dark here till well past 10:30 last night. So who knows what time he showed up and got that tent set up. And you can see how light it is out here. It's been like this for the past hour and a half. He might have got dropped off here after a party or whatever, and now it doesn't remember getting dropped off. Dude, where's my car? I'm gonna keep an eye on him. We're gonna kind of get moving here. I don't really want to go outside right now. We'll get moving here in a minute.
We're not at camp anymore. We continued to head down the highway towards the next recommendation that ChatGPT has for us, but we'll get to that in just a second. First, we want to talk about where we are and what happened this morning and why it made us so on edge. Where we are is a stretch of highway from Prince George to Prince Rupert that is also known as the Yellowhead Highway, or the Highway of Tears. And the way that it got the name Highway of Tears is pretty dark, unfortunately, as you can probably guess by the name. But when the highway was constructed in 1970, since then, over 80 women, they estimate, have either gone missing or have been murdered along this highway. And unfortunately, a lot of those are completely unsolved. It also happens to be a disproportionate amount of Indigenous women. And there's a couple of factors that play into this. The highway is extremely remote. There's long stretches between communities. A lot of people hitchhike to get from community to community. And there's also not a lot of cell reception in the area. So given all of that and knowing about the history of crimes in the area, when we got a knock at 5 o'clock in the morning in this area, it put me on edge. And I know it put you on edge.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I kind of went into alert mode. I decided it would probably be best to get up and pull off one of our blackout curtains and just kind of see what was going on, what he was out there doing. Being on the road full time, especially, you just always need to be aware of your surroundings. And you know, we're in a foreign country. We're not familiar with the area at all. So when you get a knock, you know, you don't know who this person is. He obviously wasn't an official. You don't know how many of them there are. This day and age, you're not really sure what anyone's capable of or what their intentions are. So I got up, I observed him for a while, and then after a few minutes, I realized he really wasn't a threat. He was dropped off by someone at some point last night with a tent, and for whatever reason, and after a while he had a cigarette, and then he crawled into his tent and probably sleeping it off. But it's okay to be overly cautious.
Yes. Always better to be overly cautious than thinking everyone is just, you know, out to have a good time.
I was not going to open this door or unlock this van until I knew what was going on, and then we decided it was time. Let's just pick up and go.
There were no threats, no weapons, no direct danger, but that's what made it worse. Felt like a test, like he was checking to see if someone was inside, if the van was empty, if he could come back later, maybe take something or someone. They didn't sleep the rest of that night. And here's the thing, this wasn't just any random remote pull-off. This area is near the Highway of Tears, a stretch of road in British Columbia with a chilling history. For decades, women, mostly Indigenous, have gone missing or been found murdered along this route. Over 80 cases, many still unsolved. It makes you think, if Emily had been alone that night, would things have played out the same? Would that knock have been softer? Would that question, what time is it, have been a distraction for something worse? We'll never know. And honestly, maybe that's a good thing, because the scariest part of living on the road isn't the isolation or the wildlife. It's the moments when the quiet breaks, and you don't know why. Sometimes it's not the forest you have to fear, it's the people walking through it.